I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. You find me sitting in my Mark II Escort. The reason being is I'm going to completely transform the interior in this episode. If you've been following the build, you'll know that I've recently sprayed the interior back to beige and it's just come out so well. Couldn't be happier with this, and I've also done a dash beige. First things first, I need to refit all of these metal bungs because these are what keep the water outside of the interior. There's quite a few of these. You got like oblong shaped ones which go there, there, there. Now these actually go through to the chassis rails, so they don't go far at all. But then you do have other ones like this hole here. That's a smaller one that goes right through. So that obviously needs to be protected. You've also got bigger ones like these. Now these I actually kept in whilst I painted the floor, but I do have other big ones, such as this one down here, which need the grommet putting back in. In order to keep the metal bungs watertight, I'm also going to be adding a bit of tiger sealant because I don't want no water, even the slightest bit, penetrating through that metal bung. So what I'm going to do now is grab the tiger sealant and I'm going to whack in all of these bungs and make sure they're all nice and watertight. Right, I've let all of these bungs dry overnight and they're now nice and solid. They're all in there, watertight. I'm very happy with that. Anyway, now that I've got the inside fully watertight, I can now finally start to lay some sound deadening. Now it's worth noting there's absolutely loads of sound deadening and vibration control materials out there, but I went for this one, which is called Dodo Mat. This was recommended by a bloke called Brandon. He's recently fitted some himself. I thought I would buy myself a nice roll of it. Skimming through the instructions, it just says that the surface needs to be nice and clean. You've got to cut it to shape and then you apply it onto the floors or doors or any surface that you're applying it to. It also mentions about the heat. It says try and be over 10 degrees, but it is luckily getting a bit warmer now, so we're over 10 degrees, so there shouldn't be any need to warm up the area, but if you need to, you can warm up the area for application. So this is my roll that I've purchased. You can get them in like square patches, but I thought I'd just go for a whole roll because it's only like 50 quid or something like that. So this is self-adhesive. You'll see as I start to get it out and cut it to shape, the main gist of it. So let's get some of this fitted to the Mark II Escort. It's worth noting, I've actually never like put sound deadening down myself before. I've always used the factory original stuff. But yeah, let's just go for it. What I've done is just roughly measure out a section of the floor that I want to cover. So I'm just going to cut it out now. Cut all of this in half. See how easy it is to cut. Ah, that's surprising. I thought it'd be much harder than that. Very easy to cut. Nice. Yeah, I'm very happy with how that cuts. It's nice and easy. I thought it'd be harder than that. Right, let's try and fit it. Here's my first bit of sound deadening now, roughly cut out. As I say, you can just plonk this stuff in as and where you like. It's not a necessity, but it's nice to reduce the outside sound as much as you can. And also, I do remember there was only 2 bits of original sound deadening left in this car when I stripped the interior, and one was literally just smack bang here, so I definitely want to be replacing these ones first. Film from the back. Yeah, that's alright. That's alright. I feel like I need a roller or something to...
Just stand on it.
Stand on it. That's my assistant, giving me good encouragement. Nah, that's wicked, that is. That's cool. It sort of stretches as well. I didn't think there would be a lot of stretch in this, but you see this section, the hexagons are sort of stretched to let it sit there. That's absolutely fine. That's the first bit of sound deadening all now in. I'm really impressed. I didn't think it would mould to the floor pans like it has. Yeah, just couldn't ask for a better product, to be honest. So yeah, great recommendation, Brandon. I've now got the other piece from the first cut. I'm just going to put it at the front. There you go, something like that. Perfect. I'm happy with that. Really happy with how them two pieces of sound deadening have gone down. I just didn't think it would be that easy. So what I'm going to do now is crack on, get half of this interior done, and I'll catch up with you guys and let you know how it's going. It's certainly coming together now. I've done all this back section, then realised my camera weren't on time lapse. So annoying. But yeah, that's all sort of done now. I've got these big two square patches up here as well. Really happy with how they've moulded to the floors. I've just carried on moving forward as well. I did, however, squeeze too hard on this one and it's ripped through like the foil top layer. So I think I'm going to replace this one. I've also gone onto the tunnel and done some of that. See, on that side I haven't gone through it there, so it's much better. But what I'm going to do now is just move up to the bulkhead area, just put a few patches here, around there, and yeah, then I think we'll be pretty much done. All my soundproofing is now in. I'm not sure if this is classed as overkill, but yeah, I don't really want my Escort rattling about. I want it to feel dialed. And yeah, that is the soundproofing. I've not done every single inch of the floor pans, but I've done a fair bit and I'm happy with that. There's two things I just want to quickly mention. Now the first being, if you're gonna lay that sound deadening yourself, put on some thick gloves, because I've done it and I've got like really deep paper cuts all over my hands now where I was pressing down. Even though I had rubber gloves on, they just went straight through it. I didn't realise I was just continuously cutting the same bit of skin on my hands. So yeah, make sure you wear some thick gloves. And also, the other thing I forgot to mention earlier is I actually put some Tiger Seal on the undersides of them metal bungs. So not only have they got Tiger Seal at the top of the bungs, sealing them in, they've also got Tiger Seal underneath, sealing any water from getting in. So yeah, belts and braces sort of thing. I thought I'd just let you guys know. Time for a little snack, I think. Don't get better than that. I've had my little break and I think it's about time we fit something else to the interior. Now that being this Underlay, which I purchased from Newton Commercial. Loads of people recommended them for a carpet, but unfortunately they only make the moulded one to the manual gearbox tunnel and not the wider automatic tunnel that I've now fitted. So yeah, slight disadvantage there because it is harder to get a carpet now that I've got a wider tunnel, but luckily I still managed to purchase their Underlay. Well, all I've done is plonked on the Underlay and it's looking a whole lot different already. I've removed the gearbox Underlay just for the time being because I'm going to stick these bits of Underlay down with some adhesive spray. Now I'm not going to go mental with this, but I'm just going to do a little light dusting and I'm just going to stick them in place. They're not going to go anywhere, but I just want them to be quite solid in there and firm. Right, I've read the instructions. There's a very long list of danger stuff here. I've read through them. Basically, just got to use it in a ventilated area. I'm just going to spray it on the underside, then leave 30 seconds, whack it over, and it should just be nice and tacky and just stick to the floor. There you go. That bit of underlay is all now stuck down. Just about to do this side, but one thing I really wanted to do, I think it's really cool when people are like renovating old buildings or restoring old cars and they find like an old receipt or an old bit of newspaper. So what I've done today, I've gone out, I bought a newspaper. Don't get all political with me, I don't care what brand newspaper it is, I just want it for the date and the nostalgia value. I think I'm gonna have it folded like that just so I can stick the underlay still around it. And who knows, I want to keep this car forever, but if I don't, and in 30-40 years it's still going and someone needs to change the carpet or repair a rust hole, then they'll find something underneath, wouldn't they? Once again, this has blown my expectations. I didn't think that that carpet stuff would stick this well. But yeah, all the underlay looks so nice and neat now. Had to trim this one up slightly, but as I said previously, it's just underlay, it doesn't have to be neat. Even though I love everything to be neat, so I've trimmed it all up there. There were already holes cut out here, so that was useful as well. Now I do need to give a shout out to a bloke called Rick. He got in contact with me saying that this bloke sells the carpets, and yeah, this was basically my last option because I know you can get a moulded one from like Australia, but I wasn't willing to order one of them. So Rick sent me a bloke called Daryl's contact on Facebook. I've bought this through Messenger, but I'm assuming it's from Works Escort Parts UK. I've seen them advertised quite a few times and I've scrolled through their website a few times, so yeah, there you go. Free little shout out. Hey, that was lucky. Oh my god. Nah, this is nuts, this is nuts. I'm gonna have a little play around and then get back to you guys. I sort of knew this already, but I didn't really want to admit it, but it's going to take a little bit more work than just slotting in the carpet. I've got to be honest with you guys, it is another day. Now, at the end of yesterday evening, I was fitting the carpet, it was all going well, I knew I needed to tweak it slightly, but then I had a little light bulb moment. It just went bing. I've got the holes for the gearbox mount, and how am I going to get to them once I put the carpet on? And yeah, I've been scratching my head all day about this, but luckily I've now come up with a solution, so let me show you. I've already done one side, so all I have to do now is just whack a bit more carpet spray on these and seal them back up. First things first, I'm going to need to carefully pull back the underlay just to there, and now I need to go underneath and just poke through the two holes for the gearbox mounting bolts. I'm just going to cut out the sound deadening that surrounds them. That's the second one all done. Now next up, I was thinking, right, I could put some bolts in here, but what I don't want to do is have to get on here with a spanner every time I want to remove the gearbox mount. So I went into B&Q today and I knew they made these, but I didn't know what the name of the bolt head was. So here I have a flat head with a square piece that starts off the thread, then the thread carries on. Now this must have been a stroke of luck because these holes are just the perfect size. As you can see, that's not going through at the moment. Give it a tap and that's not going through, but once I've placed it in and I put my nut on it, and I wind it all the way up, they actually pull through the metal, so they must just be at the perfect size to be pulled through. And as I say, I've already done the other side and it just works amazingly. So I'm going to crack on and get these two bolts all pulled through and in position. You notice the difference, it just goes really tight instead of slightly tight. I'll wind that back off and do the other one. There we have it. I now have both bolts in place. They're not going anywhere. If they do ever come loose, I will have to pull up the carpet. It's not the end of the world. I might even tack these in slightly from below. But yeah, they're in there for now and I can carry on with the inside. Now that the disaster has been swerved, I can get the carpet back in and start to spray this glue on and make it sit properly. It's going to take a little while to adjust it and get it all in place, but yeah, cue the time lapses. Let's get this carpet in. Well, we got carpet. Not surprisingly, it's actually quite hard to show you how well the carpet's gone down because it's literally black and you can't really see anything. But it has went down pretty well. I'm not too happy with the tunnel at the moment. It's going to need a little bit more fettling. This back section went in much smoother over the tunnel and that. I haven't stuck any of the side bits down just because I need to run a few cables to the back still, so that'll be staying off for a little while. Couple of things that would tidy it up in here that I need to purchase. Now the first one being this door trim. I'm not quite sure the actual name of these, but they're just trims that sit underneath the doors like that. As you can see, my original one has seen better days. It's all bent and twisted, so I really want to purchase a new one of these, but I had a quick look online and I can't find any, only for 2 doors. If anyone knows where I can get some brand new ones of these for a 4-door, then please let me know in the comment section below. Another thing the interior is crying out for, and that is some front kickboards. They literally cover up this whole section. As you can see over here as well, I need another kickboard to cover up the beige. I nearly forgot for a second, but I also stuck down these corner pieces. The seat sort of sits here, but you still see a bit of carpet. I just want to briefly mention my thoughts on the carpet. Now, ever since the start, I didn't ever want a patch made carpet. You can get like an escort carpet in 5 different sections or 6 different sections. You just place it in, but I always thought that looked a bit tacky, dare I say it, and not original. That's what I'm looking for. When I started the hunt for a carpet, I always wanted a moulded one, and this is the closest I've got to a one-piece mould. The front section is moulded to the floor and the back section is. The front doesn't fit 100%, mainly because it's built for a automatic tunnel. Now, no matter what wider tunnel you get, this carpet should fit yours, and that's what it's designed to do. So it fits mine pretty well, and overall I'm happy. It's not perfect, so if anyone knows how I can get a moulded carpet for this, then please let me know. I won't be changing it yet. I'll get a good few years out of this carpet first, and then I will eventually change it or look to get a fully moulded one to the Escorts floor pan. But for now, this will definitely do the trick. Now, over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be moving my attention from the inside of the Escort to the engine bay once again, because I need to get the Pinto in the engine bay for the last time, along with the gearbox, and I can start to bolt everything up. I've scrapped the idea of going hydraulic clutch, mainly because of costs, and also I just want to keep it simple. It's meant to be an old school cable operated clutch, so I'm going to keep it that way, which means that I can get the gearbox and engine mated up without spending loads of money. Anyway, I feel like I've done a lot of talking in this outro, but I always waffle on these outros, even though I say I shouldn't. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a like, and if you like what you see, subscribe to the channel to see more. Thank you all for watching, and until the next one, I'll see you guys later.